And today I want to make sure that I train and I teach you guys just some basics under, some things to understand before going into creating your Facebook ads, but also how to maximize ads because a lot of people have the wrong expectation when it comes to creating ads. And I noticed that when I sit with people, they're either taught to run the wrong ads or they think that they're just going to turn on some ad and then all of a sudden millions of dollars are just going to come in. And though ads are effective and they're a great way to generate leads, that's not how it works. You still have to learn, you still have to make adjustments. And once you do, to quote some of my favorite leaders inside of lead generation and also the ad industry, you create your own ATM, right? So, we're a big believer, Veronica and I, that we believe in all types of leads. We're not just about warm market. We love our warm market. We continue to get leads from our warm market, our friends and family, referrals, all those things. But it's unpredictable and it's hard to scale, right? We believe in running social media ads because we understand that it's scalable and it gives us another bucket, right? When you have multiple buckets of leads coming in, it creates more appointments for your weeks and it also creates more potential closes. If you're just focusing on one lead source, it's hard. You're gonna dry up quick. You're gonna suffer. And we did that at the beginning of our career as life insurance agents, where it's like, man, what are the other sources of leads and what could we do? We did the networking events. We still love to do those. Did warm market. We still do that. But why limit yourself to one? And one of our favorite strategies, to be honest, I was just doing the math the other day. And from running ads on social media, we've generated several $1,000s of business just from a few $100s. And that's over the course of a few years, running ads, turning them on, testing them out. And there was a point where we didn't know what we were doing. So our goal became, hey, let's teach other people how to do this so that they can create their own ATM for generating leads. Some of our biggest clients have come from, social media ads, and we've built relationships with them, got referrals from them as well. So today, guys, I'm going to go over some basics so that if you're thinking about doing ads, you can understand this. Now, the first one is, why using the boost feature isn't good for lead ads and it isn't good for generating leads. Now, while using the boost, and by the way, if you don't know what that is, whenever you have a business page and you post something, there's a little button at the bottom if that post is eligible that says boost. And what happens is it'll create an ad and it'll send it out there to a bunch of people to see. So while using the boost post feature on Facebook can be effective for certain types of content, it is generally not recommended for lead ads. Now, if you're a life insurance agent, your whole goal is, hey, I want to generate a solid lead from Facebook ads, right? You want to make sure that you get somebody who says, hey, I'm interested in the product or service that you're talking about. So here are a few reasons why boosting your post isn't a good idea. So number one, limited targeting options. Boosted posts have limited targeting capabilities compared to Facebook Ad Manager. That's the preferred method, by the way. Facebook has an ad manager where you access from your computer. Now they have an app version, but it's limited. And for you business owners out there, I don't recommend using that right now because it has limited features as well. If you're looking to get the biggest return on investment, you want to make sure that you're using the ad manager. And how you access that is from your business page, you go to your tools, you go to the menu, and you click on Facebook Ad Manager. You log in through there. So with lead ads, it's crucial to reach a specific audience that is more likely to convert into leads. The boost post feature offers basic targeting options such as basically only location, age, and gender, but lacks the advanced targeting options available in the ad manager. So essentially what that means there is, hey, there's a few bells and whistles when you boost a post, but they don't have everything that you need. So when you're targeting somebody on Facebook, you want to get very specific. You don't want to just do location. You don't want to just do age or gender. You want to make sure that you expand your targeting options because the more targeted you are, then you're going to find who you're looking for. The second reason why is inadequate optimization. Boosted posts are optimized for engagement. Engagement when it comes to running ads just means likes, shares, and comments and reach. rather than lead generation. So Facebook's ad manager, they provide more control over your campaign, your objectives, and optimization. It allows you to optimize specifically for lead generation. So essentially what that means there is whenever you go into the Facebook ad manager and you create a campaign and you tell it, hey, I want to generate leads here. It optimizes that and it looks for people that are most likely will transition into a lead. When you run a post or sorry, you boost a post, it doesn't do that. So you're spending money just to get likes and shares when your whole goal is, hey, I want to actually get a lead. I want to turn this into something profitable. So the best way to do that is through the Facebook ads manager where it optimizes that campaign for you. The other reason is limited customization. When boosting a post, you have limited control over the ad format and design. Lead ads often require customization to maximize their effectiveness. Then what they mean about customization, you might want to change some things around because when people scroll through Facebook, the whole goal and the whole gist of what we teach in our course is, hey, what are people most likely to click on? And when you boost a post, you don't have the options to customize that. It just takes your existing post and it boosts it. And a lot of times I tell people that's really for boosting is more for building your brand and creating awareness. If you have a cool post, you got a bunch of likes on it, it says, hey, this looks like it does well, let me boost it. But it's really to build your brand, not to generate leads. So that customization aspect is missing. The other one is incomplete tracking and measurement. I'm going to get into this later. When you're a business owner, you're a life insurance agent, you're running leads, your whole goal is, hey, I want to make sure that I'm tracking and I'm measuring, because every dollar you spend, it's important to understand, hey, is this working? Is this not? And when you're running a boost post, you have limited tracking and measurement capabilities compared to ads created through the ad manager. So when running lead ads, it's essential to track and measure key metrics such as your conversion rates, cost per lead, return on investment. The ad manager provides more robust tracking options and insights to help you optimize your campaigns effective. I'm going to go into some of these metrics a little bit later in this training, but essentially what this means here is the tracking as a business owner, the tracking aspect is not there in boosted posts, but it is there in the ads manager. Lack of scalability. So boosted posts are primarily designed to promote content and generate engagement, like we mentioned earlier. So lead generation campaigns often require scalability. You need to reach a larger audience and generate higher volumes of leads. So the ad manager offers more flexibility and scalability options to expand your lead generation efforts. So there's a few more bells and whistles in the ad manager that say, hey, I want to reach this audience. I want to create, a lookalike audience. And there's different features like that are typically not available in the boosted post area. So while boosted post feature can be suitable for certain objectives, it may not provide the necessary features, targeting, optimization, and tracking capabilities required for effective lead generation campaigns. So using Facebook Ads Manager is generally recommended for running lead ads. It offers more control, customization, and scalability. So let's take a look at that first section to see if we have any questions. I'm going to go to my phone to see if we have any questions so far. Cool, no questions so far. So the next section I want to go to is it does revolve around the tracking part of it. And the split testing. So whenever you run an ad, it's important to understand that you're going to have to split and you're going to have to test different types of ads, meaning there's different parts of your ad. So you have your picture ad, like for example, your picture or video. And then within that image or within that media, we like to call it, you have also your text. Then you have a headline. Hey, that think of the ads you've seen when you're scrolling through Facebook. There's a headline. There's maybe some text that they call that copy. There's a video or there's an image, right? So whenever you're split testing, essentially what you're doing is you're saying, okay, let me try different variations. So whenever you're split testing, this is a way to maximize your ads, because what you're essentially doing is you're putting an ad out there that has multiple variations, and you're saying, okay, let's track it. Let's see which one is performing better, because it looks like this audience is performing, is responding to this one better. So split testing ad creatives on Facebook can help maximize results for several reasons. So you get to identify the most effective creative, and a creative in the ad world is, like I said, is your video, it's your image, it's, you may have they like to call it a carousel of different images. And split testing allows you to compare different ad creatives to determine which one performs best. By testing multiple variations, you can discover which creative elements, such as images, videos, headlines, call to action button, even resonates most with your target audience. This helps you identify the most compelling and engaging creative that drives better results. So, just to give you kind of an example, when I run, for example, a final expense ad, I may do a different image. So, you know, this image, let me try this image. And it's all on the same ad campaign. If you guys are members of the Life Agent School coaching program, one of the modules is the final expense Facebook ad, the basic Facebook ad. And in there, I show you how to create an image. What I like to do is I create multiple ones so that I can see which one's getting more traction. So every day or every other day, I check the metrics. Oh, this one seems to be performing well. You know, this one hasn't done anything. Let me turn this one off. Hey, let me increase the budget on this one and lower it on that one. So it's important to split test that. Optimize for specific objectives. So split testing enables you to optimize your ads for specific objectives. For example, if your goal is to increase the click-through rate just means that more people are clicking as opposed to just scrolling past. So you always want to increase that, because what essentially what that's saying is the ad has done enough to get people to click through it, as opposed to just view it and pass through it. So that's a metric that a lot of people track is, hey, are people clicking this? Is this a clickable thing? When you see the click-through rate go up, that means, hey, people like my ad. Like, they like the way it looks, at least. I got them through the first part. So the click-through rates, you can test different ad variations to see which one generates higher click-through rates by focusing on specific objectives. You can fine-tune your creative elements and deliver a more impactful ads. Data-driven decisions. So split testing one provides you with concrete data and insights about your ad performances. You can analyze metrics like the click-through rate, conversion rate, cost per result, which I like to call cost per sale in our industry, and other key metrics. So when you're looking at this, essentially, you're going to look at the data and say, this ad, got me 5 leads, but man, the leads are expensive. Like, I don't want to pay that much for leads. And then you may look at another creative that you have, and they're all going to be on a road. What it looks like, by the way, I had an image up here. This is what it'll look like. You'll have different variations of your different leads, and you get to see the results next to it. So you can look side by side and say, oh, this one seems to be getting a better, cost per lead. If you see that, one is getting better than the other, then you can say, you know what, I want to focus more on this ad. And that's a part of making your ad successful. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, at the top of this training, was our expectation is turn on the ad, make millions of bucks, right? But the truth is those who make the adjustments, those who are willing to do the work, those who are willing to understand and learn which one works and which one doesn't, those are the ones who have the most success. Those are the ones who stick with it. And then eventually you become good at it. So the next one is audience performance and behavior. So when you split test different ads, it helps you gain better understanding of your target audience, preferences, and behaviors. By testing different ad creatives, you can observe which one resonates better, captures attention, and drive engagement. This insight can be invaluable in crafting future ad campaigns and tailoring your creative approach to align with your audience preferences. So that essentially what that means there is, hey, you may see that a certain type of ad works better. So what happens is you can go ahead and take that image and you could duplicate it and essentially run multiple ads with that similar image. And then going forward, you're starting to collect the habits of, what your audience clicks on more, what your audience engagement, the engagement increases on certain type of posts. Do they like video? Oh, you know what? Seems like they like ads. And to give you an example, I did a video, final expense video ad, and I did a final expense image ad. So a picture versus a video. And I was kind of collecting the data. So I noticed that more people clicked on the image ad, but I noticed that more qualified people and more serious people were clicking on the video ad. So my video ad was costing a little bit more, like $6 more per lead, but more people were serious. Once I got on the phone with them, they seemed to be a little bit more interested versus the image ad. Some people are like, oh, I'm not interested anymore. So those are some things and some habits and some of the things that you pick up from your audience. Continuous improvement. So split test is an iterative process that allows for continuous improvement. By testing and analyzing the results, you can make incremental adjustments to your ad creative over time. This iterative approach helps you refine your strategies, optimize your ads, and achieve better performance. So overall, split testing creatives on Facebook provides a systematic and data-driven approach to optimizing your advertising efforts. By testing different variations, you can identify the most effective creative elements, optimize for specific objectives, and continuously improve your ad performance. Ultimately, the goal here is how can I get the best return on investment, right? And this is where the maximization happens, like I said, because what you're doing is you're taking an ad, and the first step is, okay, let's see which variation performs better. But then you're not done there. You're constantly, as you're generating leads and closing them, you're saying, okay, how can I get the cost down, right? What am I noticing? So the different parts of the ad that I'm going to kind of quickly go over with you are, the first one is people see the ad, and your whole goal is, okay, are people clicking through this ad, right? Am I making people stop scrolling and click on my ad, right? And then once you get people to click on the ad, is my ad converting those people? And when they're entering their data, their name, email, phone number, and whatever it is that you're asking of them. And then number three, the last part is, are those people, are those leads that I'm generating, how's the conversion on there? So it allows you to get better and better and better. And what happens is you can drive that cost down. So for example, if you start to notice, okay, I'm generating leads for, let's say $20 a lead, not bad, because let's say in final expense ad, you're making $700, $800, $900. It's not bad. I paid $20 to get that client. But what you can do is over time and say, hey, what can I do to decrease that cost? Can I say something better? Can I put a little bit better copy on here to say, man, am I noticing something when I get on the call that maybe the expectation of what I put on the ad versus when I call them, there's a disconnect, and you're going to notice that. So as you start to create these ads, you're going to notice, hey, my expectation up front needs to be clear to these people what my intentions are. I'm trying to sell them on, life insurance. So that's number one. The next part I want to go through, and by the way, this is how some of the data on the ad manager is going to look. You're going to see how many leads you got. It's very intricate. The cost per lead, the cost per purchase, which I like to say cost per sale. But I do want to cover some metrics, and I just call these my three important ones. There's more. Like I went through click-through rate. There's going to be impressions, but I don't want to complicate it now. I want to go through the important ones because these are about your money. So metrics to follow for leads. So the first one is cost per lead. So essentially what it is, it calculates the average cost incurred to acquire each lead. So it helps you assess the efficiency of your campaign and compare costs across different campaigns of ad sets. So if you have multiple ads, or maybe you just have one ad, what you do is you take a look at the total ad spend, what you spent. That's just the marketing term of what you spend for that ad, and then the amount of leads you generated. So for example, here, let's say that you ran a Facebook ad campaign. You spent $250 in total for that ad. You generated 25 leads. So if I wanted to calculate, hey, how much am I averaging my cost per lead? So you take the 250, the ad spend, you divide it by 25, the amount of leads you generated. So you're averaging about $10 per lead. So your cost per lead is $10. That's not bad. So to determine what you want, what I recommend is creating a threshold and say, okay, I make one thing you want to write down is, what is my average sale right now? And you write that down. What do I make on my average sale? And then the second thing is, how high am I willing to go to get a lead, right? So if you make $500 every time you sell a certain type of insurance, that seems to be your average. You may say, I don't want to go over, $50. I don't want to go over $100 per lead. By the way, you're not going to close every lead, right? So that's why it's important to have a certain cost per lead. So for example, final expense, we're seeing people generate leads between $3 to $10 per lead, which is not bad. Because if you go to a lead vendor and you buy from them, they're charging you 75, 80, 90, even $100 per lead. So that's how you calculate how much am I paying per lead that I'm generating on my Facebook ads. Then the next one, which is even more important, is cost per sale. Hey, what am I averaging every time that, I run an ad and I sell somebody? What am I averaging? So how you do that, it's calculated by dividing the total cost of your ads. So same thing I mentioned earlier, ad spend, by the number of sales generated. So let's use the same example. You ran a Facebook ad, you spent $250. You generated 25 leads, but you only sold 5 of them. Not bad, not a bad conversion ratio. So you take the 250, the ad spend, divided by the 5 sales, and that's your cost per sale. So your cost per sale in this case would be about, I want to say $50. So not bad. $50 per lead, which is not bad at all. So we already went through the metrics: cost per lead. How much am I, every time somebody fills out a form and says they're interested, this is the average of what I'm paying. And then out of all those leads, obviously you're not going to close all of them. You're going to sell a few of them. So then you calculate your cost per sale, which is pretty easy. And then the last one, which is the really important one, is your return on ad spend. Hey, how much? And essentially, I want you to think of it this way. For every dollar I spend in ad, how much am I getting back in profits and revenue? So to calculate the return on ad spend for your Facebook ad campaign, you need to determine the revenue generated from the campaign. So we're going to go through an example later, but how much you made off of your clients, what's the profit, and divided by the cost of the ads. So here's step-by-step of calculating that. So determining the revenue generated, identify the total amount of revenue generated as a result of your Facebook ad campaign. So all the clients that came from that specific ad campaign. This could include sales, leads that converted into customers, or any other desired conversion that contributes to your business revenue. So let's say, and the reason why it says that way, it says, let's say you generated a lead for final expense. You closed it, but they said, oh, I got a rollover too, right? And they're like, oh, you're like, okay, cool. So you do a rollover, calculate all of that, not just the final expense. Because some people think, oh, well, I only got, no, everything that you generated from that person that you were connected to that ad, calculate all of that. And then the second thing is calculate the total cost for your ad campaign. So, here, what that means is obviously what you paid for the ad, and then any other tools. If you pay monthly for, some type of program to house all your leads, if you pay for some type of program like a CRM, calculate all of that together. So you kind of have a total cost of every tool that you use to generate this lead. And then you divide the revenue by the cost that you spent. So in this scenario, what we're going to do is we're going to say that the only cost that we had for this was the ad spend. So with anything additional, we didn't use anything additional. We just ran an ad. So in this one here, what we're going to do is we're going to say that those 5 sales that we got, right? We got 5 sales. And let's say that I made on this Facebook ad campaign, $1,200 per client. So I made about $6,000 of revenue. My ad spend was about $250. So I take the 6,000, which is the revenue I made, I divide it by 250. And what the return on ad spend is $24. So what that's telling me is saying, hey, for every $1 that I spent on Facebook ads, I made $24 back. Wow, that's phenomenal. That's almost like what percentage is that? Like 2,400% or something like that, return on investment. So that's an amazing return on investment right there. So you can also calculate your general return on investment. I mean, honestly, it's just taking the 6,000 that you made or whatever you made and just subtracting the ad spend. So here that'll be about $5,750 that I made and my return on investment. So it's important to note that your ROAS is what we call it, calculation, should be considered both the immediate revenue generated from the ad campaign as well as long-term. Like I mentioned, there's indirect effects to your business whenever you generate clients through Facebook ads. You may have them come back and add an additional policy. They may get a policy for, a spouse, children, or they may get a rollover, another product. So this is forever growing, what you'll notice about that. And also, it's important to regularly monitor and analyze your Facebook ad ROAS, your return on ad spend, helps you assess the effectiveness of your ad campaign and make informed decisions. So as a business owner, have your weekly meetings with yourself, right? If it's just you, have it with yourself. Hey, so let's take a look at our numbers. Let's take a look at, what's going out, what's coming in. As a business owner, it's important to understand your numbers, right? Your metrics, your KPIs, because if you want to run effective ads, you're gonna have to sit down and say, okay, let me pause this ad, let me keep this one going, which is really important. So in order to, when you start to notice certain trends, like for example, if you have a really high ROAS, it's like, wow, okay, this ad, I'm going to keep it going, may add some, so increase my ad spend on that. But then if you notice you have a really low ROAS, like if for every dollar you spend, you're making $1 back or $2 back. If it's not worth it for you, then you may not want to continue with that campaign altogether. So these are the metrics that you need to understand. Now, I know you're probably thinking, some of you is very technical. This is a lot of stuff. I don't want to do this all on my own. There's good news. So if you guys know, we have our Life Agent School coaching program, and it is the ultimate program. So it not includes access to all of our courses, recorded courses, which we have about 5 in there so far, has access to our video library where we put our weekly trainings. You get your one-on-one sessions with Veronica and myself, depending on what you want. So just to give you an example, if you say, hey, I want a session on Facebook ads, well, then I would be the one stepping in. But if you say, hey, I want a session on, I have a, what is it called? Case study that I want to kind of run past, and Veronica might do that one. It also includes future boot camps. So like I said, we're doing our boot camps regularly where you have access to. So the last boot camp we had was the IUL boot camp. So right when it was live, all of our existing members of the Life Agent School coaching program had immediate access, didn't have to pay anything extra. And then what we're adding now is we get to help you set up your first ad campaign. So I get to go in there with you and help you set up your first one so that you have understanding and you can get all the basics out the way. So the last session I had with one of our coaching clients, we literally went on a Zoom call and I was saying, do this, do that. And the last step we're doing, which actually this week, is we're optimizing her video. She's doing a video ad for her life insurance business. So that's what we give you access to. So the Life Agent School coaching program, like I always mention, forever evolving. We're always adding stuff. We're always improving. We're always taking old videos and updating them if things have changed. We're also coming alongside you and making sure that, hey, let's help them. Let's see them grow. Our whole goal is we can easily sell this program for about $10,000. And we have agency owners we work with who are like, this should be way more. But our goal is to just really pour into life insurance agents. We went through a lot at the beginning until we got now where we learned all this. Now we just want to pour into other people. So if you want access to the Life Agent School coaching program that includes all of that, comment below or DM us. We'll be happy to have a call with you and just go through any questions that you have. But appreciate you guys. As always, your success is important to me. If you have any additional questions, any feedback or anything at all, feel free to DM us on Facebook.